Hello, everybody. It's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts. Can't even say the word right all the time. But we do try real hard to bring the best information we can.
We do. I think I went into overtime a little bit on this one. I was in the mines. I was deep in the trenches with the notes on mine, but I was having a lot of fun with it.
I'm excited.
Just before we get into this week's episode, first of all, this is our first episode together since the Max Fun Drive. A thank you to the wonderful folks who stepped up to support us during the Max Fun Drive. It was a terrific success, and I really appreciate all of you.
Yes, thank you so much.
And part of that, one of our drive goal incentives was to do another episode with past special guest Isaac. Longtime listeners of the show may remember years ago, I had my son Isaac on the show for a very fun episode, and he has been chomping at the bit to come back. So as thanks for a great turnout for the Max Fun Drive, one of the really fun things we'll be doing is having Isaac back on for another episode. I need some help from y'all for that, though. I need any kids listening, or if you're an adult and maybe there's a kid in your life who maybe has some questions about animals, please send those to us. I want answerable questions. You know, things like, why is this animal the way that it is? Why is it like this? What is the most insert adjective here animal? Things like that. So questions that maybe you, a child, or a child that you know is curious about, I would love to have Isaac on the show to get into those questions and maybe get some answers to kids only, please. At this time, please. So if any kids out there have any questions they want answered on the show, send those in to me at ellen@justthezooofus.com. And please include the name Isaac in the subject line. I use email filters to organize these things, so please include Isaac somewhere in there so that I know what this question is for. Oh, if you live in the Seattle area, this weekend, like this Saturday, we're going tide pooling. We have details about that posted on our social medias, so please do go head over to our Instagram or Facebook or Discord for more details about that. If you are local and you're free on Saturday and you want to go tide pooling with us, please do come check that out. We would love to see you. Now that housekeeping is out of the way, Christian, I believe it is your turn to go first this week.
Yes. Uh-oh, phone locked.
Do you know my password?
I think so. Yep. Okay, got it.
Thief! Security alert! How come Gmail makes me put in my password and solve these riddles 3 every time I want to log in to Gmail on my phone, but then you, basically a complete rando, pick up my phone and Google's like, yeah, we know this guy, let him through. Why do they give me a harder time logging into my own account than you?
Maybe it's that plus model you got with the vibe sensor.
They're like, he's cool, it's fine, let him in. I'm glad you were able to hack into my mainframe with ease.
Yes.
Christian's borrowing my phone right now.
Mine is serving its duty as playing nighttime music to the little one. So the animal I'm talking about this week is the coral snake.
I'm so hyped for this one.
Yes. There's a number of coral snakes out there, so I'm just speaking a little general with some stuff here more specific to the ones that can be found in the United States. But taxonomically, coral snakes are a couple different genuses that belong to the Elapidae family.
Elapidae sounds familiar.
Yes.
It sounds like something we visited before, I feel like.
This would be the same family as cobras and sea snakes. We did a sea snake.
Yes, I remember that now.
Oh, the inland taipan and the black mamba.
Oh, the serious ones.
Yes.
Those are the super don't touch ones.
Yeah.
All of the things you said were definitely some spicy noodles in there.
Yep, they're up there. The sources I'll be using are Animal Diversity Web, National Geographic, and the National Library of Medicine.
Oh, good. All right. Glad to hear there's some input from human medical systems.
Yes. You can probably see where that's going. In terms of how big of a snake this is, they range from 54 to 73 centimeters, or 21 to 28 inches full grown.
It's not that big.
Yeah.
What, 2 feet long?
Yeah, give or take. And the females are larger.
Slay. Girl boss.
Got some dimorphism
Good job.
there. There's coral snakes found all over the world, but the ones in the United States can be found in the southeast and southwest.
That does kind of make sense because you get more snake biodiversity in the more southern parts of the United States.
Yes.
It's too cold for a lot of snakes up here.
Yeah. So the 3 most common coral snakes that we have in the United States are the eastern coral snake, which we had in Florida, the Texas coral snake, and the Sonoran or Arizona coral snake.
The most problematic states.
Though I don't think I've ever seen a coral snake in the wild.
Now that I think about it, I don't think, because there is a mnemonic that we've been trained to use
I'll
to
talk more about
differentiate.
that later.
Yeah.
But I've never encountered any wild snake that mnemonic would apply to.
Right. I have never needed to call on that information. Like, it has never been of any use to me.
Yes,
ever
which
in my
is
life.
Surprising given how much it is talked about.
Yeah, it feels like quicksand. Like, like, why are we drilled on this?
Yes. Which is a little disappointing. I would love to see one in the wild and keep a healthy distance from it, as I would with all snakes.
I would just like to have a useful piece of information for once. I have so many little facts in my head. It would be a dream come true if for once in my life, a single one of them was useful in any context. That would be amazing.
Now, let me jump into our first category here of effectiveness. For those new to the podcast, this is describing things like physical attributes that help them do the things they need to do. So I'm giving the coral snake a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, they've got their reputation precedes them a bit.
They're doing good. The first and maybe biggest thing I want to talk about was their venom. So they are a venomous snake. And now that I realize it, maybe I should describe what coral snakes look like.
Please.
So they are a snake that has colored banding along its body, specifically the coloration of red, yellow, and black.
In that order.
Yes. With the tip of the nose starting in black.
And they have kind of a rounded face, too.
They do. So they're different from the most other venomous snakes in the United States are of the pit viper family, right?
Where they have the chunky cheeks.
The triangle face and or the triangle head.
Yeah, with chubby cheeks.
Yeah, so different from that. So they have a very round, very oval face, I think.
It's cute.
Yeah, I think so.
They're very cute.
So their venom is comprised mostly of a neurotoxin. And we've talked about neurotoxins before.
A deadly neurotoxin,
Yeah.
People who have played Portal, very familiar with the deadly neurotoxin.
And of course, this is delivered through fangs. Now, here's what also kind of separates this snake from the other venomous snakes in this country. With the pit vipers, they have large folding fangs, right? Whereas these snakes have fangs that do not fold. So they're smaller, but they're always, they don't move. They're always in attack position, basically, but they're smaller.
That seems annoying.
Yeah.
That seems like I wonder if they just, like when a human, if we bite our lip or our tongue, we're like, oh man, that's a minor annoyance. But like for a coral snake, that's got to be the worst.
I have to hope that they have some defense against their own venom, but I don't know for sure.
An iron-plated mouth.
Yeah. But this also makes it so that they have a little bit more difficulty piercing thicker skin to deliver venom, as opposed to something like a rattlesnake that has those long fangs that fold out when they're biting.
Yeah, when they have sort of a collapsible fang situation, it gives them more room to grow them longer because they don't have to have them out all the time.
Right. Now, with that neurotoxin, the biggest problems that can lead to are respiratory failure and heart problems.
Those are those are kind of the big ones, right?
Yeah, you stop breathing, you stop pumping blood, you're not going to be around for too much longer.
I feel like breathing and pumping blood, those are sort of the two things. If you don't have anything else going on, you got to have those two on lock.
Yeah. And the bites from coral snakes are less common than those from the pit vipers. But that toxin is especially strong, and the symptoms can also be delayed, like half a day delayed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, a slow burn.
Yeah. So I was reading as part of that National Library of Medicine info, they were talking about how this is normally treated, and it a lot of the times involves being in a hospital, being closely watched for a while.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that, like, in situations where someone does BFIT from getting bitten by a snake, it's usually because they either don't have access to or they refuse access to medical care. Like
Right.
if you can get medical care, you're almost certainly gonna be fine.
Yeah, probably. The bites are also less likely to happen than pit viper bites because the coral snakes are more likely to hide and run than the stand and fight posture that a lot of the pit vipers do.
So like when you see a rattlesnake and they're like in the S pose,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
with a viper, not just rattlesnakes, right? But also like water moccasins, like a cottonmouth or something like that. They will kind of give you a little bit of heads up, but they might kind of like stand their ground rather than, a cottonmouth will flee.
If it can, yeah. But it seems like there's the intimidation is always on the table, right? But not with the coral snakes. So they're better at hiding. They're a little bit more elusive, and they're also more prone to just run.
They're so fast too.
Yeah. I say run, but they don't have legs. So
They're doing their best.
like we've talked about many times, I feel like the bites that do occur are usually happening when they're being handled or harassed.
So don't do that.
Yes.
This is an easily avoidable problem.
Yes. All right. Now, the saying.
Yes, please.
Right. There's a couple variations, but one is red by yellow kills a fellow.
I've always heard red on yellow.
Sure. Red on black, venom lack.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or friend of Jack.
I always heard you're okay, Jack.
Sure.
That's what I always heard.
Now, before I dig into this saying, first I want to say this saying is only applicable to snakes in North America.
That's it. That is it.
Yes. Because you will find other snakes, even other coral snakes, where this little ditty does not apply.
This will steer you so wrong. The wrongest you've ever been, this will get you.
Yes. But on the other side of things, if you're depending on whether or not a snake is venomous or not before you mess with it, you're already messing up.
You have bigger problems. Yeah, err on the side of caution, right?
Yes.
Just assume any snake you encounter has the potential to ruin your day.
Yes. So, and I say that not as a way to like kill all snakes. Absolutely not.
Opposite of that.
Leave them alone. If they absolutely need to be moved from where they currently are, call a professional.
Yeah. I wonder if there's regional differences to that like saying, because I have definitely heard it like multiple iterations of it, and this is just a little, I had coral snakes on the brain because a little bit of the Boko episode for this month, which I recorded with Katie Golden, we talked about coral snakes. And then part of that where we were talking about like the saying between how to tell a venomous coral snake from a non-venomous snake that looks similar to it. A fatal flaw with this mnemonic device is that it is extremely easy to mix them up.
Yeah.
Because I've heard so many people say, now wait, was it red on yellow kill a fellow or friend of fellow? Was it like like it is so easy to mix the words around and not remember which one was supposed to be which, in which case you just remember the unimportant parts of the mnemonic.
Yeah. So how about instead you mess with the snake, you catch the rake?
The rake?
Yeah.
What's the rake?
The rake in my garage.
You mess with a snake, Christian Weatherford is going to hit you with a rake. Yeah, that's much more applicable.
Now that you can use everywhere.
Yes. Put it on a bumper sticker. Let's get some merch made. You mess with the snake. This random man. That's very Florida man behavior, Christian.
It's inspired by my late grandmother.
Did she hit people with rakes?
No, she had a long beef with the ducks.
What? What does that have to do with what we're talking about? Did she hit them with rakes?
I have memories of her throwing rakes at ducks.
What a legacy.
And I'm turning it to good.
There you go. We're reclaiming the rake.
Now, all that being said, only one person has been documented as dying from a coral snake bite since 1967.
Oh, no.
Only one.
What happened?
It was in Florida.
Great. Awesome.
In 2006, It was actually the person that died and another person got bit in the same incident where they were trying to kill the snake.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I said this in previous episodes about venomous snakes, is that a lot of the times the people that get bit by venomous snakes were purposely trying to harass or kill that snake beforehand.
This sounds like a 2v1 situation, and the snake's KDR is looking pretty good.
I don't know if the snake came out of it or not, but,
I mean, this sounds like a skill issue, I think.
I think I read somewhere where there was maybe a refusal for medical care involved in this too.
That's also very Florida.
Because like you mentioned, there is antivenom available. It's not great from what I understand. It's a lot that you have to go through. And it's based on a horse antibody, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, if you do get bit by one of these, just seek medical care. You'll probably be okay. And if you start to show neurotoxicity or respiratory problems, they'll hit you with that antivenom. But also, they will need to keep a close eye on you for severe allergic reactions to that.
Right. That is another thing that like people can have allergic reactions that can like amplify the effects of like you're already envenomated and also allergic. And
yeah. At least in this case, for this kind of snake, you would almost assuredly be sent to the hospital.
Yeah. So you could avoid all this by just not doing any of that.
Yeah.
You could just not mess with a snake.
Freak accidents happen too. So, we have the medical care out there for this. Now, of the 3 coral snakes I mentioned, the Sonoran coral snake venom has less significant effect on humans than the other 2.
I wonder why that is.
Don't know. Something I thought was funny that I saw in the National Library of Medicine article was talking about treatment. And it said, step 1 of treatment is to remove from snake exposure.
Dislodge the snake from the wound site.
It made me think of those school like activities where like the teacher says, all right, tell me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Where like that would be funny if they did all of the treatment without removing the snake and they're like, well, you didn't say not to.
Well, now you got bit again. Start over, I guess.
You didn't read all of the instructions.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that article from the National Library of Medicine was titled Coral Snake Toxicity by Matthew Hessel and Scott Mickenich. Last updated in 2023. The next thing I want to talk about, microfart.
Now, the company that makes Xboxes.
Okay, so this is only applicable to the Sonoran coral snake of the 3 we're talking about here. Apparently, they have the ability to do a sonic warning.
A sonic warning?
Yes, meaning a sound that they produce.
Okay.
By forcing gas out of their cloaca.
What's a cloaca, Christian?
A cloaca is an orifice that reptiles and birds have that is used for both waste disposal and reproduction.
It does it all.
Which is interesting because snakes don't have the same kind of gastrointestinal tract that would lend them to having the same kind of farts as mammals, for example. Like they don't have like a colon in the same way that mammals do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I guess they wouldn't. And I guess the kind of diet that they have probably wouldn't be producing a lot of gas, I would imagine also.
I don't know. I didn't dig too deep into it.
I feel like I've seen YouTube videos of snakes farting, and it is like really, really, really weird.
I
like
bet.
It's very like the snake kind of like coils in a way where you can tell it's kind of uncomfortable and has to kind of like
has to work it.
Yeah, like shimmy it out almost. It's one of those things that doesn't really occur to you even happens at all until you're like, I guess it makes sense that they would fart.
Sure.
It just seems weird that they do. Like, it's strange.
But I was entertained in the naming of this being microfart.
It is also interesting that they use it tactically. This is a very sort of strategic fart. This fart has like a purpose.
Although it's not unheard of for even a person to fart when they are startled, right?
Our kids do this all the time. It's so funny.
So maybe this is us just being nice that we're seeing the snake get startled and fart when it happens. Like, oh no, that was on purpose.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, it was for a thing. It was for intimidation. It was to intimidate you. I will say, if I was a predator going to attack some sort of prey and I grabbed it and it immediately farted, my efforts would be thwarted in that moment.
Yeah.
I would drop that creature instantly because I would be too busy laughing.
Right. Now, my last topic for effectiveness is called the flicker fusion effect.
Tell me about this.
Yes. Flicker fusion, for our longtime listeners, this might be pricking your ears up a bit because we had previously discussed this kind of topic as part of the episode on the crown of thorns starfish. But in this context, basically what it means is when the snake moves fast enough, the moving bands blur together, potentially confusing a predator. Now, this is where flicker fusion comes in. And here's a quote I'm pulling from another National Library of Medicine article titled Assessing Critical Flicker Fusion Frequency, Which Confounders? A Narrative Review by Muth, Shippick, Brebick, and Dreyer. So the quote explains flicker fusion as, when a light flickers above a certain frequency, the sensation of the flickering disappears and the light appears to be continuous. The critical flicker fusion frequency, or CFFF, is the threshold above which the receptor potential can no longer differentiate between changes. As a result, the potential waves combine to form a constant level of depolarization, which the central nervous system interprets as continuous light. So, in practice...
Yeah, I'm going to need some help with this.
No problem. Imagine a flickering light. As it flickers maybe one flicker per second.
That's the worst. I hate that.
That's easily noticeable.
Yes.
Now that's
it's like a strobe at that point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now imagine the frequency of that flicker getting faster. At some point, there is a frequency at which it will continue flickering, but your eyes will no longer be able to tell that it's flickering. It'll look like as if it is just a continuous light.
That's the worst, when it's flickering just on that threshold where you can barely tell that there's a light flickering, like
yes.
in the room, but you just can't quite tell.
Yes. And there's an interesting reason for that happening, which I'll touch on here in a second. But so that's what's happening here is for humans, this is also dependent on the observer and how their eyes work. So in this paper talking about flicker fusion with coral snakes, it's comparing it to that flicker fusion rate of avian predators being a common predator of the coral snake. So think hawks, ospreys, those kind of birds. So what that paper was looking at is, can the snake move fast enough to produce that flicker fusion effect as it relates to avian eyes? And does it work in the way they think it does?
Like as though the color bands on its body are acting like a pixel on a screen almost.
Right. Especially the lightest band on them, which is yellow in coral snakes. So imagine that the yellow bands passing a fixed point in space. So that is the frequency we're talking about. So the faster the snake moves, the higher that frequency is. And if that frequency surpasses that point in the bird's vision, it'll become blurred and harder to kind of focus on.
Oh, yeah, because if the snake was all one solid color, they would still have a silhouette appear, right? But if it's like more like flickering pixels, basically, it's going to look a little bit more...
Imagine it as motion blur, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned like when lights do this, right? So here's something interesting. U.S. household electricity uses 60 hertz alternating current. Now, the human critical flicker fusion frequency is around 35 to 40 hertz.
Oh, so this is going faster than what we could detect.
Right. So here's the problem with light bulbs and alternating current. So with a light bulb, think of any light bulb hooked up to a regular household in the United States. You can think of if the alternating current is going at 50 hertz, that means 50 instances per second. And that means basically the power is getting turned off and on 50 times a second. Now, with old school incandescent light bulbs, the kind that have like a piece of wire that heats up, that's not a problem because what's producing light in those light bulbs is the metal heating up, right?
Right.
So the residual heat is still there even when the power is cut off.
It's going to keep glowing.
Right. Now, the problem comes in with LEDs.
Oh. And LEDs are all the rage.
Right.
So everyone's got the LEDs now.
So with those are more instantaneous. So if the power cuts out, light's gone.
That's it, yeah.
But as long as that frequency of the electricity that's turning it on and off is higher than the human observer's flicker fusion rate, it's fine.
But if you let it slip just a little.
Or if you happen to be someone with a slightly better refresh rate in your eyes.
Oh, no. Oh, it pays to have terrible eyes.
You might be in a case where you're noticing a light flicker and no one else is.
Oh, that sucks. That has to be maddening.
Now, some things that could cause this, like a dip in that frequency of a light bulb, could be like you have an LED that's on the wrong kind of dimmer switch. So that's a big thing with LED bulbs and having the right kind of dimmer switch if you need a dimmer switch.
Homeowner Christian has entered the chat.
Now, that critical flicker fusion frequency is also dependent on light conditions. The brighter the conditions, the higher the critical flicker fusion rate is for a given observer. So that means this snake moving at a given speed would be more likely to confuse a predator in lower light conditions. Just because of the way eyes work with the parts of your eyes that are working in different light conditions. So in lower light conditions, it's not processing as quickly.
Anybody who has maybe used a DSLR camera or some kind of camera where you can actually adjust things like the aperture and the shutter speed and things like that, it kind of works like that. When there is a lot more light available in your scene or in your shot,
right,
you can get a much, much, much faster shutter speed because the shutter does not need to be open as long in order to get the amount of light needed for your photo.
Right.
So when you have very, very low light conditions, you're going to get a lot of motion blur because you need to keep your shutter open for a long time. So you're going to get a longer exposure. That's interesting how the snake is kind of taking advantage of this too. Like in the low light, they can, maybe their effect will be better at producing blur.
Yeah. And of course, some of the things that might affect that would be the specific bird we're talking about, temperature, because being reptiles, the amount of energy they have to use on movement is somewhat affected by the temperature, right?
They get groggy when it's cold.
Yeah. So maybe they can't get up to a fast enough speed if it's too cold, right?
That's kind of a trade-off there because times when the light is going to be low are going to be times a day when it's colder.
Sure.
Maybe a trade-off there.
Which I think this snake is more active in like the low light times of day.
What is that called, Christian?
I don't remember.
What's the word?
I don't remember. I know we just talked about it.
It's crepuscular, Christian.
Crepuscular. So in Florida, for example, doing that as it turns into night, you'd probably still have plenty of residual heat, right? To get things moving.
It's going to be hot. I don't care what time it is. It's going to be hot at 2 a.m. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that wraps up effectiveness on the coral snake.
Very good.
I'm glad I got to talk about eyeball stuff.
Yes. I know you're a sucker for eyeball stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to go Home Depot, Dad.
Yay.
Talk about light bulbs and dimmer switches.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I think that the coloration of the coral snake and snakes that have these like brightly colored bands is usually not thought of as a camouflage thing. It's kind of the opposite, right? This is supposed to be like aposematism.
Yes.
Like the aposematic coloration is like a trade-off where it's a warning sign like, hey, don't eat me, I'm venomous or I'm deadly, I'm harmful to you, with the trade-off being like you are more conspicuous if you have bright colors like this.
But then I guess the flicker fusion thing is a bit of a mitigation to it.
Yeah.
Because now it gives you a little bit of a one-up. Probably still not as better off as if you had complete camouflage, but
yeah,
that's okay.
But I think it's an interesting way of like getting around the sort of cost of aposematism, which is like losing your cryptic factor.
Yeah, for sure. For ingenuity, I couldn't find very much, so I'm just going to give like a standard 6 out of 10 for ingenuity.
Yeah.
They know they are smart enough to hide and try to be, hard to find at least.
When you're a little guy, you gotta pick your battles.
Yeah. Oh, something I forgot to mention. The babies that are born are immediately venomous.
Great.
But again, they might have a hard time piercing the skin.
The teeth is too little.
But the venom's there for sure.
Little Fisher Price, baby's first envenomation.
And then aesthetics, I'm giving a full 10 out of 10.
This is a real stunner of a creature.
Is. We don't get much better looking snakes than that in the United States,
That's
I
true.
would say.
Well, I mean, if you're a hater, I guess. I think rattlesnakes are gorgeous.
They're cool, but they don't have that flashy red.
Yeah, it is. You know what? It's very Star Wars. It's very Sith looking, sort of.
The mud snake comes close.
Mud snake is very good, yeah.
And maybe the indigo snake too.
Yeah, you have a certain type, I guess, when it comes to the snakes. The reason I've been thinking about coral snakes so much is because I just bought a sweater that I specifically bought because it is a very soft, very comfortable, bright red with black and white bands. It's not black and yellow. So this actually, my sweater is more like a milk or king snake, which I think a milk snake is a type of king snake, but my sweater more resembles a milk snake. But it is the exact like red, black, white, black, red stripe pattern as you would see on a milk snake. I was like, I have to buy this. This is the perfect sweater for me.
It's one of those steal their look memes.
Yes.
So like you mentioned, the colors are aposematism incarnate. And then there's other snakes in the same region that they're found that mimics that coloration, which is what that mnemonic is supposed to help with. But again, if you're using that mnemonic for anything other than just a neat factoid, I wouldn't.
Please do not place your life in the hands of this little nursery rhyme. The thing about because you mentioned that there are non-venomous snakes that look like the coral snakes.
Right.
And this is really, really cool. This is like a very sort of classic example of something called Batesian mimicry, where an animal that is not itself hazardous, like not poisonous or not venomous, that does not produce their own toxin or their own chemical defenses, just steal the look of something similar that does.
Right.
So that you get the same effect. Like predators will leave you alone. They don't want to risk it, like on the off chance that you are the one. And maybe they don't know any better, you know? Like they might not know, oh yeah, some of them that look like that won't kill you. So they kind of get the benefit of the hazardous appearance without having to expend the energetic resource of actually producing their own toxins.
Right.
So they're kind of mooching they're riding the coattails of, so this was another one of the things we talked about on the Boko episode for this month, is that this can actually end up looping around, and in some cases, this can decrease the effectiveness of the signal. So like if you have too many mimics, then it loses meaning basically. And like the predators will start to ignore it. Like they'll be like, well, yeah, I mean, you all look like that. Some of you are venomous. Like it will make the aposematic signal less valuable.
Right.
Which can bring everybody down.
Well, it's one of those evolutionary arms races.
Yes, for sure. I'm glad you said that because that is a central key theme in my segment.
Ah, perfect. Yeah. Well, to wrap up the coral snake here, the conservation status for the eastern coral snake is least concern, which is surprising to me. Again, because this is a snake that I lived almost my whole life in Florida, and I can't remember ever coming across it.
This reminds me of skunks. Supposedly everywhere.
Yeah.
Never seen one.
But their threats are primarily habitat destruction and cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just need to go out there. I mean, we can't now because we don't live there, but maybe next time we're in Florida, we need to go out and do some coral snake tracking.
Just give me the snakes.
Well, you know what they say. You mess with a snake.
I have heard that, yeah.
You mess with a snake, Christian hits you with a rake. I think if we say, you know what they say enough times, then eventually it will catch on. It will become a thing that people
probably,
say.
Yeah. Well, that's the coral snake.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Let's take a quick break to hear from a couple of our friends on the Maximum Fun Network. And then when we're done, we'll get to my animal.
Are you tired of being picked on for only wanting to talk about your cat at parties?
Do you feel as though your friends don't understand the depth of love you have for your guinea pig?
When you look around a room of people, do you wonder if they know sloths only have to eat one leaf a month?
Have you ever dumped someone for saying they're just not an animal person?
Us too.
She's Alexis B. Preston.
She's Ella McLeod.
And we host Comfort Creatures, the show where you can't talk about your pets too much, animal trivia is our love language, and dragons are just as real as dinosaurs.
Tune into Comfort Creatures every Thursday on Maximum Fun.
What is up, people of the world? Do you have an argument that you keep having with your friends and you just can't seem to settle it? And you're sitting there arguing about whether it's Star Trek or Star Wars, or you can't decide what is the best nut, or can't agree on what is the best cheese.
Stop doing that. Listen to We Got This with Mark and Hal only on Max Fun.
Your topics asked and answered objectively, definitively, for all time.
So don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
All right. So what have you got for us this week, Ellen?
This week I'll be talking about the common cuckoo.
One more time?
Common cuckoo.
Okay.
You know what a cuckoo is.
The bird?
The bird, yes.
Okay.
Scientific name, Cuculus canoris.
Okay, fun.
Yes. So this is maybe the most excited I've ever been to talk about an animal because this is a wild ride. And seasonally appropriate. This is springtime. This is the kind of bird you're going to hear a lot about in the spring. More so in Europe. They're not as much of like a springtime icon here as they are in Europe. But they're very much a springtime bird. So it's a good time for them.
I'm excited to hear more about this because for me, it's mostly been a subject in literature.
Really?
Yeah. And some documentaries, but...
Oh, there's so much more. There's
Good.
so much more.
I'm excited.
Birds. So I'm getting my information from a 2015 lecture by Professor Nicholas Davies titled, and this title's going to give some stuff away, but I think it's enough of a teaser. It doesn't give it away too much that it's a spoiler, but it tells you what you're in for. This lecture is titled Cuckoos and Their Victims, an Evolutionary Arms Race.
Ah, there it is.
Given at the Royal Society, London, and this whole lecture can be found on YouTube, which
fun.
I very much appreciate. That made things pretty nice and easy for me. But I'll also be citing other sources as applicable. I'm going to be real with y'all. Wikipedia put me on to a lot of these papers. I was living in that references section.
Yeah.
But I read them. I read the papers. I fully support using Wikipedia as a springboard for learning, but I will be providing specific references as they come up. So if you're not super familiar with what a cuckoo bird is, this is not a huge bird. They're about 1 foot long with a wingspan of about 2 feet. So, I don't know.
That's respectable.
I'd say maybe like crow-sized almost, maybe. Like a pigeon or crow size. Now, an important detail about them is that their body is usually gray, but their chest and abdomen is black and white striped. This will come up again, so just remember that. Gray, black and white stripes on the front.
Are they vertical or horizontal stripes?
Horizontal stripes, yeah. So these birds can be found throughout Europe and Asia, and they migrate south into Africa for the winter. There are also cuckoo species in the Americas, just not this one. So the common cuckoo is not found in the Americas. There are actually about 150 species of cuckoos total, which include the roadrunner.
Really?
Yeah, the roadrunner is one of these little guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little cousin of the cuckoo, which I think is pretty cool. And by the way, the name cuckoo is onomatopoetic, descriptive of the call of the male cuckoo. His 2-note mating song, which is comprised of a descending minor or major third interval, which I would describe as the sound of a doorbell.
Okay.
Doom, doom, like that.
Yeah.
Cuckoo, like that.
Now, would you say the onomatopoeia is accurate?
It's pretty good as far as onomatopoeias go. I've heard worse. Chuck Will's widow. Are we serious? Like, that's ridiculous. Be so for real. So cuckoos and their melodious call are often associated pretty positively with springtime. But if you are not a human and you are perhaps another small bird, that little pleasant cuckoo call is more like an air raid siren, because these birds are menaces. This is the most villainous animal that I think we've ever done on this show. This creature is diabolical behavior. So I can't get into my ratings without just kind of giving you an overview of what the common cuckoo is all about. Common cuckoos are obligate brood parasites. So this means that unlike many other birds who build a cute little nest and then lay their little eggs in the nest and warm the eggs, and then the egg hatches and they feed the little babies, no, they don't build nests. What they do instead is they find someone else who already did, drop their own egg in someone else's nest, and then peace out. Forever. Never see that egg again. This would be not that big a deal if they just snuck in, dropped an egg, peaced out. That's the end of it. Basically, okay, here's a little free bonus egg. Like, oh, you just have one more chick in your nest. What's the big deal?
Which would be great in the game Wingspan.
They would be amazing for that. That would be awesome.
I bet.
Have we played a cuckoo in there?
I bet it's there.
It's probably
and it probably
in there.
gives eggs to everyone. Or maybe everyone else.
That would be far too positive of an effect for this bird, because things take a dark turn.
Yes.
So first of all, while the cuckoo is there laying her eggs, which is a very short, like 10-second visit, the cuckoo will often take one of the host's own eggs. So she just grabs it and yoinks it and flies away. She swallows it, eats it. It's delicious. It's a free meal for her.
Oh.
Which is like a little Indiana Jones, like pressure plate trap swap, where you like do like the picking up one and dropping another and like flying away with the treasure, basically. But that's only the beginning of it. Things really take a turn for the worse when the cuckoo chick hatches, because the cuckoo chick has a little bit of a jealous streak. So the cuckoo chick, fresh out of the egg, literally no feathers yet, will ensure that it is the only recipient of the host mother's care by ejecting the other chicks from the nest.
Among Us style.
Yes, this is a full-on imposter situation. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that, so
Okay.
that when the joke that I had written about Among Us elsewhere in my notes...
All right. I'll act surprised and everything.
Okay.
You can just delete all of this, future Ellen.
I'm not going to, because this is funnier. So that's just kind of an overview of what the cuckoo is all about, because everything I'm about to tell you has to do with this, like brood parasitism, because
Right.
it is wild. So for effectiveness for the common cuckoo, I'm giving them a 9 out of 10. So naturally, other birds do not want cuckoos to parasitize their nest.
Right.
They kind of on some level know it's a bad thing. They are hardwired to not want that to happen. So the hosts, which here kind of means they're victims, right? The ones being parasitized. Hosts have developed their own defenses to stop the cuckoo. This results in an evolutionary arms race between the cuckoo and their hosts, who are forever attempting to counter each other. So one such defense is physically attacking the cuckoo.
Right.
So for small species, like a really, really common one you see is reed warblers. Reed warblers are like one of the most commonly studied hosts of cuckoos, and they are little. They're very small birds. They're much, much smaller than the cuckoo. So a reed warbler can't fight a cuckoo off alone, so they have to band together in groups of neighbors, where like one reed warbler will see a cuckoo like approaching, put out an alarm call, and all of the neighbors will have to like flock together and mob the cuckoo. They have to attack as a group, which means that, I mean, on some level, they have to be doing this cooperatively. Even if she's not attacking their nest specifically, they know they have to go defend another warbler's nest. Like they have to act as a group. They're unionizing, basically. We've unionized the birds. Now, remember how I said earlier that the adult common cuckoo is gray with black and white stripes? Well, there just so happens to be another bird that is gray with black and white stripes in their range, and that is the sparrowhawk, which is a predator, a bird of prey.
Okay.
Who the reed warblers know, and other hosts of the cuckoo, they do not want to tangle with a sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawk is built to kill them and eat them. Like, they will not mess with a sparrowhawk. So the cuckoo actually mimics a sparrowhawk so that it won't get fought off by the hosts that it is trying to parasitize. Now, a lot of times, the hosts will learn from each other that when they see a cuckoo, if they mob a cuckoo once, then they'll learn what a cuckoo looks like. Like they know, like, okay, this one's a cuckoo, we're going to fight it when it comes here. Here's the thing. Adult female cuckoos, only the females, adult female cuckoos have a shiny form.
What?
Where it's called a rufous morph, where some of them are like brown instead of gray, with like brown and reds instead of gray.
Okay.
So they look slightly different from a normal cuckoo. So here's the thing. A 2012 study showed that host species, so like a reed warbler, for example, will only learn to attack the same color morph as whichever one they saw getting mobbed first. So if they see a gray cuckoo getting mobbed, they will be way more likely to mob other gray ones, but not rufous ones. The rufous ones are safe. And vice versa. If they learn to mob a rufous one, they will leave the gray ones alone, which is really fascinating. It's like basically the emergence of palette swaps, like to get around the social learning of their hosts that they're trying to like counter. And that study was called Cuckoos Combat Socially Transmitted Defenses of Reed Warbler Hosts with a Plumage Polymorphism. And that was by Rose Thorogood and Nicholas B. Davies in Science in August of 2012.
Is there any kind of breakdown of how many, I guess, what percentage of the population is one morph over the other?
The rufous morph is much rarer.
Okay.
But there are certain areas where the rufous morph is more common.
Huh.
So like there will be little like small habitats where you'll get like a higher instance of it's pretty rare. This is maybe a more recent sort of emergence.
I wonder if it's cyclical in any way.
I don't know. I don't know. But it does seem to be a way that the cuckoos are able to basically disguise themselves from the mobbing behavior of their hosts. Now, hosts naturally do not want cuckoo eggs in their nest, so many of them will try to detect a cuckoo egg so that they can tell it apart from their own eggs so they can throw them out before they hatch. Because, you would like to be able to see one and be like, oh, nope, that's a cuckoo egg, and then you toss it out.
So we're already at several layers of defense here.
Yes.
So one was fend off the initial cuckoo.
Yes. This is the egg. Now, can you kick out the egg before it hatches?
But at this point, they have already lost one egg.
Yes. Well, I should say taking the egg is not a guaranteed thing. It's not every time.
Okay.
Like she takes it. It's like a sometimes thing.
Okay.
She may just drop the egg and bounce.
She's just hungry. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner. Yeah. So the cuckoo may not take an egg from the nest.
Okay.
It doesn't. The end result will be the same regardless for the host.
Sure.
So the host naturally wants to be able to tell its own eggs apart from a cuckoo egg. But not to be outdone, cuckoos have adapted the size, color, and patterns of their eggs to mimic the eggs of their hosts, so as not to be ejected during an emergency meeting, like in Among Us. So that seems okay, cool. Yeah, they have like, their eggs look kind of like the eggs of their hosts. It gets so much wilder than that. Within the common cuckoo species, there are secret factions, lineages of females that specialize in specific hosts.
Mm-hmm.
And each female cuckoo belongs to something called a gens. So her lineage is fine-tuned to lay their eggs in the nest of a very specific host species. So one lineage of cuckoos will specialize in reed warblers. Another one might specialize in robins or pipits or something else. Like they will have their whole family, basically. They'll have like a family lineage of cuckoos that only parasitize this particular species. So as a result, their eggs will look a lot like, say, reed warbler eggs,
right.
For example. It will be a common cuckoo that lays an egg that is perhaps pale with brown spots. But a different cuckoo, same species, might come from a different gens that specializes in robin nests. So her eggs would be light blue to mimic robin eggs instead of reed warbler eggs. Now, there are over 270 species that cuckoos have been documented parasitizing.
Wow.
So this is an incredible amount of like diversity.
Yeah.
Of specialization in one species.
Well, that also tightly couples them to their host, like in an interesting way. Like,
it does, but they have an interesting genetic way of getting around this. So bird genetics are different from human genetics. Humans have X and Y chromosomes, but birds have Z and W. And the W chromosome is only present in the females. So the parasitic specialization could be passed down genetically from female to female along the W chromosome, while the males can remain unspecialized and mate with any female of the species. So a male cuckoo, completely unaffiliated. He could mate with any female cuckoo.
mm-hmm.
And still, that's why this is all still one cohesive species.
Right.
It's just the females that have like this incredibly fine-tuned specialization that's only passed down through the W chromosome.
But still, that leaves the door open to like a local population being devastated by like losing that specialized host species in the same local area.
Yeah, I suppose it could. I mean, there has been an overall decline in the population of cuckoos over the last few years. So, yeah, I mean, they could be so dependent on their host species that, yeah, like it might make it a little bit more difficult for them to adapt when they need to. And that paper was called Genetic Evidence for Female Host-Specific Races of the Common Cuckoo by H.L. Gibbs, and that was in Nature in September of 2000. So all these are really interesting ways that the bird has physically adapted to parasitize its host and also thwart the defenses of its hosts. But that's not all, of course. It extends beyond their physical adaptations because they also have to act on them. So this brings us to ingenuity for the common cuckoo. I'm giving them a 9 out of 10. So brood parasitism naturally requires a lot of very impressive mental effort. So the female cuckoo has to keep a territory that she has to guard from other cuckoos, just like any other animal would have to guard their sort of resources, right? She has to treat her hosts like resources, like her nests. That's like her food, basically. Like she has to make sure that other cuckoos don't come and overload the nests that she is already eyeing. So she also has to keep track of their reproductive rhythm. She has to make sure that she is laying her egg in their nest at the right time so that her egg can blend in with the other eggs, but also hatch first. She wants her egg to hatch before the other eggs. So she has to like make sure she knows when everybody's laying eggs in her territory so she knows when to visit the right nests. It's a lot of like logistical planning. It seems like a huge headache. Now, once the cuckoo chick hatches, they start stacking bodies just fresh out the gate. Like their operating system comes with murder pre-installed, like bloodlusted immediately, like run warcrimes.exe on startup. They come out swinging. So when a cuckoo hatches from the egg, upon hatching, the chick will immediately begin Marie Kondoing up the nest, and the other eggs in the nest are not sparking joy in this moment.
There's no joy in this nest.
No, there's none. The cuckoo chick presses its back up against an egg or a live hatchling if the egg has already hatched. Just the cuckoo will back up against it and then start walking backwards towards the edge of the nest, pushing the nest mate over the edge, sending them tumbling down to the ground, never to be seen again.
Right.
Immediate fatality, like instantly. You can see there is so much footage of this. There's so many videos of this happening. I don't recommend watching it because it is viscerally horrifying.
Yeah.
It is so disturbing because, okay, so the bird is fresh out of the egg. It is wrinkly and like black and pink, and it's fleshy, and you can kind of, it has thin skin, so you can like kind of see its little organs and stuff in there.
Right, yeah.
And the little thing can't even hold its head up yet, so it's hunched over the whole time, and like has the little wing nubs spread out wide so that it can like back its back up against. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It is horrifying. Please do not watch these videos, but they are really cool. I watched these videos so that you wouldn't have to. It looks like a Resident Evil boss. It's so bad.
And it's hard not to, like, what is it called? Ascribe human emotion and logic to the whole thing. Right. Yeah. It's hard not to. When
there's
you
a
look
lot
at
of anthropomorphizing going on here. Because it is so jarring to see an animal that has literally moments ago been born and is already trying to kill its nest mates, which of course aren't its siblings, right? They're just the other birds that have been unlucky enough to share a nest with it.
Right.
This is really remarkable to me because you have to keep in mind that the mother's long gone. Like the actual adult female cuckoo, she left immediately. Like she hasn't been there for weeks.
Right.
There's no teaching going on. This isn't a learned or taught behavior. It's so instinctively, it's so hardwired into the like nuts and bolts of the animal, but it's a very sophisticated behavior that they have to execute at such like a primitive point in their development. It is incredible to me that they like can do such a sophisticated thing so early in their development.
Yeah, which I guess is really the only way any of this works.
Yeah. Now, here's one thing. The cuckoo chick is at a disadvantage because they are much, much, much larger than their host's chicks, and therefore they need a lot more food than their parent would normally be bringing to their chicks. So the photos look very silly because a reed warbler parent appears to be feeding a hungry chick that's like twice their own size, like twice the size of the adult. And this like giant little fluffy chick is like begging desperately from this tiny little warbler. It's kind of silly looking because it is so painfully obvious to anybody looking that is not her chick.
Right.
Like, it makes you want to just be like, girl, what are you thinking? Wake up.
Well, it's interesting to think that the host had enough like intelligence, right, to know to fight off the initial cuckoo and then to try and sniff out the eggs, right?
It's weird. Part of the lecture that I was watching, the professor talked about how chick rejection is surprisingly rare. There's only like one documented case, and it wasn't even of the common cuckoo. It was of a cuckoo in Japan where the host rejected an actual live chick. It almost never happens. Like almost never does the host reject the chick after hatching. It has to be done at the egg stage, or else they won't figure it out. Yeah, it's so weird.
I wonder if
isn't
there's just something instinctually that is overriding anything else there.
Yeah, I guess that they just figure at that point I don't know. They're like, there's like a lot of, unknown factors about this.
Right.
They seem to be investing more in like the early detection. And then they figure, well, if you make it to the chick stage, then all right, I guess. But apparently they just don't figure it out at the chick stage. It's very strange. But so the cuckoo chick needs a lot more food than a reed warbler chick would. So the cuckoo has to convince their host parent to bring them a surplus of food. And they do this with begging cries that are louder and more frequent to simulate the cries of multiple chicks.
Oh.
So it sounds to the host parent like there's a whole clutch of chicks begging and crying for food to elicit the response of bringing more food. Like bringing food as if it was for 4 chicks instead of for 1.
That is devious.
Right?
Because for example, when Finley was an infant, I know for me at least, like there was a long period of time where the sound of any infant crying for me like triggered something.
Yeah.
To like, there's like, oh, I gotta go do a thing. I gotta go help whatever's making this sound.
It is like a compulsive instinct. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, people get that too, right? And it doesn't always have to be your own baby's cries, but like you hear a baby crying and you're like, okay, what, like you go into problem solving mode. You have like a compulsion to meet the need that is being demanded. And the cuckoo chick is manipulating that, like not visually because the cuckoo chick looks nothing like a reed warbler chick, but is making a begging cry that is like eliciting the response from the parent to provide it with more food so that the chick can get big enough. It's wild. I did give 1 point of deduction for ingenuity from the common cuckoo because cuckoos will sometimes lay their eggs in a nest that already has a cuckoo egg or 2 in it.
See, that's the problem with getting your eggs to mimic so well. You can't even tell your own.
Right. You can't tell like who's a mimic and who's not. But at this point, it becomes a race against the clock because whichever cuckoo chick hatches first is going to throw out every other egg in the nest, cuckoo or not, right? There's no loyalty here. There's no like honor among thieves.
Right.
They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I want all of us cuckoos to be okay because they know they're huge, right? They are going to be demanding all of the resources from the parent. So they're going to throw out every egg in that nest.
Yeah, this nest ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
So you would think that this would be selected against, because you would think a cuckoo would not want to lay their egg in a nest that is, this is a waste of effort at that point. Like you'd think they would not want to lay their egg in a nest where they're just going to get ejected anyway. But this appears to maybe be a density issue where this seems to happen more often in areas where the cuckoo may have not had many unparasitized nest options.
Right.
Like they may have just been so successful in that area that there just weren't a lot of unparasitized nests around.
There has to be some kind of control, right? Because like if the cuckoo is too successful, they're going to lose their host,
right?
Like as an option after a couple generations.
I almost wonder if like this is like their control of like the baby cuckoos will take out the other baby cuckoos. Like they've looped around to begin parasitizing themselves
like a
at
careful,
this point.
Just a knife's edge balance between the parasite and the host.
Yeah, it is. So this comes from a particularly funny, I know it's not funny, but I thought it was funny, observation that I found titled Quintuple Parasitism of a Great Reed Warbler Nest by Common Cuckoos. And that was by Attila Martin in Ecology and Evolution in May of 2021. So this was an observation in which 5 common cuckoo eggs were laid in 3 reed warbler eggs. So the cuckoos at this point outnumbered the reed warblers.
Right.
This was at the point where the nest is now more cuckoo than it is reed warbler. Which is very funny to me. Like, at what point are you like, you essentially have a nest now, but only one of them's gonna take everybody else out. So it seems like overkill at that point.
I mean, the one left though.
That one little cuckoo chick is gonna be jacked from pushing all those eggs around. That one's gonna have one just ultimate warrior cuckoo chick. Thing's gonna be ripped.
Thing's gonna have a 1,000-yard stare before it has its flight feathers.
Lord, this is so... I mean, this little guy just immediately, like, hello world and goodbye nestmates. 'Cause...
This is the thing people built clocks for?
Yeah. And sing cutesy little, like, springtime nursery rhymes about.
Sick.
This is sick and twisted, yeah. We've talked about a lot of animals on the show, and a lot of times we like to kind of like humanize them. And I don't know, we like to kind of like set the record straight, be like, no, see, sharks and spiders and snakes, they're actually fine. And, we got to be nice. This one is a villain. This is the villain of the animal kingdom.
See, now botfly doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Maybe we were wrong. No, it still sounds pretty bad, actually. All of that is to say, just there is so much going on with this bird, like both behaviorally and even just like in the physical adaptations to be constantly griefing other species. Like the entire body of the animal is dedicated to just trolling, basically. It's a menace.
Huh.
So funny to me. Good for you, Cuckoo. I believe in you. For aesthetics, I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. They're kind of pretty. They're like, okay. There are prettier birds. There are prettier cuckoos, actually. Some of the cuckoos in different parts of the world are very bright and colorful and have really beautiful crests on their heads and stuff. This one's kind of plain as far as cuckoos go.
So I think the burning question many of our listeners will have, do roadrunners practice brood parasitism?
They do sometimes do brood parasitism, but they are not obligate brood parasites. So the common cuckoo never lays a nest, only does brood parasitism.
Just doesn't know how now.
Literally not even an option. Like, never heard of her. And the American cuckoos, like, they will, like, if it's available, I guess. But for the most part, they just build their own nest and they go about it the good and honest way.
Whereas common one it's free real estate.
It's all free real estate, yeah. They're good with whatever. Now, the common cuckoo is of least concern, like conservation-wise. Obviously
I'm
not
concerned.
Morally. Yes, morally, it's of great concern. Now, a lot of times when we talk about animals, I think it's funny to talk about how, like, animals have been misunderstood over history, how people, like, misinterpreted their behavior. This one has been pegged as far back as Aristotle. Wow. Aristotle knew what these birds were up to. Was like, I see exactly what you fools are doing. Like, you guys are not getting this by me at all. He wrote around 350 BCE in his text, History of Animals, quote, "The fact is, the mother cuckoo is quite conscious of her own cowardice and of the fact that she could never help her young one in an emergency. And so, for the security of the young one, she makes of him a supposititious child in an alien nest."
You ever get roasted on some papyrus?
Just absolutely dragging the cuckoo because he's like, she is a coward and she knows it. So he was not standing for her nonsense at all. And in our last episode together, you brought a gift of poetry.
Yes.
So I would like to close us out on a moment of poetry. This is from the comedy Love's Labour's Lost by none other than the bard himself, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare writes, "When daisies pied and violets blue, and lady smocks all silver white, and cuckoo buds of yellow hue do paint the meadows with delight, the cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, 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 O word of fear, unpleasing to a married ear." And this gets into some unsavory connotations of the cuckoo's relationship to culture that I'll save for a less PG podcast.
Yes.
And that's the common cuckoo, the most diabolical, devious, dastardly creature to walk this earth that I'm obsessed with. Perhaps my favorite animal.
Thanks. Genuinely.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you so much, friends, for spending all this time here with us this week. I'm sorry if this episode is going up a little late. You might be able to tell from my voice. I'm a little bit sick this week, so we might need a little extra time on this one. But I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys. And if you like what you heard today, it would mean a lot to us if you could leave a good review for us on your podcast app of choice. You could also come hang out with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. Links to everything will be in the episode description. You can head over to MaximumFun.org to learn more about the Maximum Fun Network and all the other amazing shows on the network, and learn more about how you can be a part of supporting our show and making it happen and get access to all the bonus content that we're going to be putting out that I'm very excited about. We'd also like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, which is very good and maybe could benefit from a little cuckoo in there.
I was going to say, it too features, what was the phrase?
Onomatopoeia.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because there's a cookie in there.
Yes.
Cookie.
Which
That one's
one of the best, I would say.
that is an extremely good onomatopoeia.
Yes.
A very apt description. Like, really nailed it with that one. And also, much more wholesome animal.
Yes. By leagues.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.